For all your TCG needs, make sure to check out sabatcg.com. What's poppin', everybody? This is Saber54. Gonna be reviewing Castlevania Rondo of Blood today for the PlayStation 4. This is from the Requiem version. It contains Symphony of the Night and this game. Symphony of the Night will be the main attraction if you were gonna buy that, but this is also a pretty nice game. My first experience with Rondo of Blood was actually from the PSP game Dracula X Chronicles, and I'm gonna be honest, playing this on the PlayStation 4 a little bit, I would say these sorts of games, they work out better for me for the PSP. I can't say I tried, there's no way to try the Dracula X, like actual remake on the PSP, because that will be slightly easier than Rondo of Blood, I believe, but not by much difference. But even when I played Rondo of Blood on the PSP, I'd say I had an easier time. It's just, I don't know, the way with the controls work, being on the handheld just works out better. But anyway, my favorite Castlevania games are the PlayStation 2 games actually, Iga's games, Curse of Darkness, Lament of Innocence, and I like the igavania games as well. The classic style like this one are my least favorites. I'm just not from that era, and these are kind of too simplistic and too difficult. I don't like the punishing aspect of if you do something wrong, you fall from a cliff, you know, Super Mario style, OG. But out of all of the classic style ones, this is my favorite because it has the best music. I really like Richter, he's pretty cool. And the stages are just really nice, especially for the remake PSP, the Dracula X from 2007. Linear games, pretty simple. It's just two types of weapon attacks, your whip attack, and then if you press up with the whip button, you throw the sub weapon. In this particular game, if you collect enough hearts, you can make a sort of special ultimate attack with the sub weapon, and it usually is something that can kill a bunch of enemies at once. If you play the game right and you save up a bunch of hearts, you can go to the bosses and kill them easier perhaps that way, using your special sub weapon. Examples include like the Holy Water, you know, standard ground attack, but if you use the ultimate attack, you do Hydro Storm, attacks everything on the screen, is pretty broken. The Cross as well, if you use the dagger, you do like 1,000 daggers, multi-dagger attack. You progress through mostly a linear stage, and then you fight the boss at the end. Now I say mostly linear because you actually do have the option to choose different paths in each stage. Almost every stage, I believe, has a different path you can take, and it leads you to another stage or another route, I guess, to the same stage but a different boss, so to speak. So that's pretty nice. It's the way this game has its secrets, I suppose. And a lot of these hidden paths are important if you want to actually complete the story of the game. Basically, Richter's girlfriend gets kidnapped by the Dark Priest Shaft, but she's not the only one. A bunch of other maidens got kidnapped, and in order to get the true ending, you gotta save all of them, not just some of them. One of the maidens hidden is Maria Renard, the other playable character. If you unlock her and save her from stage 2, you can play with her as well. She plays somewhat differently than Richter. She can do a double jump, so she's more agile. Her sub-weapons and main weapon with pigeons is different, but as a result of the double jump and her being more agile, she has a lot less health than Richter. It's all of these different factors, however, that make it so that your experience playing with her is going to be different than Richter, so it's a plus. I briefly mentioned that this game's music is great, and it can't be understated. It's a big part of this, why this is my favorite game. It just has awesome music. The music is so good that it makes the difficult experience of playing this game and dying a lot more palatable. It's also important to note that this is one of those games that the music is not made by Michiru Yamane. A lot of the Castlevania music that's awesome is associated with Michiru Yamane, and of course she made a lot of amazing tracks, but she's not the only great composer that worked on Castlevania games. A lot of these classic ones before she started working, they've got awesome music too, and this is a perfect example. When it comes to the replay value of this game, obviously this is a game from, I believe, the 80s or 90s. It originally released on the PC Engine in Japan, and like I've said, The first time we got it in English was on the PSP remake with the original Rondo of Blood, Symphony of the Night, and the remake Dracula X, remake of Rondo of Blood. How long this game is going to be depends really on your skill. Even if you try and explore and find all the different paths, unlock all the secrets, save all the maidens, and play the game with Maria Renard, old games like these aren't very long. It's not like it's a Pokemon game or a Dark Souls game or something. But if you keep dying and you can't beat the stage, then yeah, they're gonna be pretty long until you can beat them, or feel long at least. As you guys can see, there's like a score system too, which is standard for old arcade style game like this. So you can try and just give yourself different goals to increase the replay value, try and beat the game or beat stages without ever getting hit, stuff like that, or without ever using the ultimate attack from the sub-weapons. I know that the really skilled players can beat games like this and never be touched. My skill level is nowhere close, and like I've said, I do actually think it's easier to play a game like this on the PSP rather than on the big screen on the PlayStation 4, but at least that's just me. A big part of these classic Castlevania games, and this one too, is precision. Every move you make, the second you decide to jump or attack, all of these little things matter. So that's why I think I get a better grip of the precision when playing this on the PSP rather than on the big screen. Talking about the graphics a little bit, I mean, this is a sprite-based game, and like I've said, it's from the 1990s, I believe. I don't think it's from the 1980s, I think it's from the early 1990s. But the sprites do look beautiful, and some of the stages look really nice and vibrant. Even though this game is technically in a castle, gotta remember with those different paths, you could end up in different places, and you can actually go outside of the castle too in some stages. If you got a PSP, I'd recommend you buy the Dracula X Chronicles game if you can find it. I don't know how expensive it would be secondhand. I'd imagine these old games now would be pretty expensive as brand new. But if you can find it, I'd say the PSP is the best version. It's the original technically when you think about it for us. But the Requiem on the PlayStation 4 and in other systems, it's the newer, more available way to get these games. Every now and then Requiem does go for sale, and it's great to get this along with Symphony of the Night. It's a great deal, of course, so I recommend it. When it comes to scores, I guess I'd give it like an 8 out of 10, maybe 7.5 out of 10. It's a really nice game in terms of the classic Castlevania games. I played a lot of them too. They released on the 3DS Virtual Console, so I had the chance to try them all. The original, Simon's Quest, and Dracula's Curse too. I think if you're more familiar with the igavania / Metrovania type ones, this is your best bridge into these classic ones. Okay guys, this is Saberwolf94. Hope you guys enjoyed my review. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share the video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. What